You know about GroovyBot, one of the many bots on Discord that millions of people used to play videos, usually music, in Discord voice chats. However, on August 24th, 2021, Google sent a cease and desist to the creators of Groovy. They complied immediately, and the bot is going down today, August 30th, 2021. Now, this may seem insane, and it did when I first heard about it, but I did some research, and here's why Google took down GroovyBot, and why Groovy had no chance to fight back. Multiple news sources have covered Groovy shutting down, the most notable one being The Verge, and that is because they have information told specifically to them by developers of Groovy, Discord, and Google. Google said that they told Groovy that they violated the terms of service. They specifically mentioned modifying the service and using it for commercial purposes. Engadget is the only news source that tells us why that's the case, even though you probably already know, but Groovy had a premium version. You'd pay $3.99 a month and get access to the special features of the bot. It's not something you have to buy to use the bot, it works perfectly fine without it. However, this still made money, and, in business terms, commercialized it. Nick Amerlan, one of the lead developers, also said that they knew this would happen, saying it was just a matter of when it would happen. Groovy devs also mentioned that around 98% of the things played through Groovy on Discord calls are from YouTube, which makes sense. It defaults to YouTube searches when you ask it to just search for a song. Basically all of the news outlets also mentioned the statement from the Discord spokesperson, who said, if a bot running on Discord violates someone else's rights, that third party or Discord may take action. Basically, that means that if a bot is violating the terms of service of another service it is connected to, then Discord or said connected service has the right to take action against the bot. Now, I'm going to do what no man, besides Mr. Beast, has done before, and read the YouTube terms of services. Oh god. Reading the entire terms of services for YouTube won't actually give us too much, because most of it is just about stuff specifically inside of YouTube. So we have to look at the specific part, which is the permissions and restrictions section. This is the only one that applies to Groovy, as it's a bot using the YouTube API, and not a human watching for it walking for 10 hours. In this section are the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not... Wait, wrong thing. The 10 restrictions that are mentioned in the terms of service are: 1. You are not allowed to access, reproduce, download, distribute, transmit, broadcast, display, sell, license, alter, modify, or otherwise use any part of the service or any content. This comes with the exceptions of authorization by the service or written permission from YouTube itself. And already, here's a thing that Groovy broke. This is actually something that's commonly violated, and the Groovy takedown was actually right after a whole bunch of sites got taken down for letting you download YouTube videos. But in Groovy's case, the main thing is the transmit broadcast part. Groovy transmits videos from YouTube to Discord, which is obviously a violation. 2. You cannot circumvent, disable, fraudulently engage with, or otherwise interfere with any part of the service. This doesn't really apply to Groovy, except for possibly the fraudulent engagement part. I don't think that this has any relation, however. 3. You cannot access the service using any automated means, such as robots, botnets, or scrapers. It's hard to make a case for Groovy here, but there are exceptions. They include public search engines in accordance with YouTube's robots.txt file. Raise your hand if you've heard anything ever about this robots.txt file. I'm not seeing any hands. Mostly that's because it's not how this works, but that's not the point. What is this file? So, I looked it up. The file is a whole 28 lines, and it's actual code. It starts with 3 comments. Robots.txt file for YouTube. Created in the distant future, the year 2000, after the robotic uprising of the mid-90s which wiped out all humans. Yes, it actually starts with that. It's hilarious. But into the actual code. One part is the user agent accessing YouTube. If it is anyone except media partners-Google, it will not let you use the channel's community tab, comments, get a video, get info about a video, get info about mid-roll ads in a video, live chat, log in, look at results of YouTube polls, sign up, look at the terms of service, give any community contributions, start its own community tab, verify its age, and 4 other things that I don't understand and can't find any information on. That was a lot. And the only real thing there was the get video part, as that's basically what GroovyBot does to play it on in the Discord call. Where was I? Oh, right. 10 Commandments. Wait, I already did that joke. 4. You can't harvest any information that might identify a person. Groovy doesn't collect personal info to my knowledge, so I think it's safe. 5. You can't use the service to distribute unsolicited promotional or commercial content. Groovy only plays the video that you ask it to. It doesn't play ads unless you ask it to play an ad, and the only thing that can really be considered as this is when Groovy tells you about the premium option. This has nothing to do with YouTube, however, so it doesn't really matter. 6. You can't cause or encourage any inaccurate measurements of genuine user engagements with the service. Groovy doesn't add views to the video that it plays, so it kind of does this, but it's debatable. 7. You can't misuse any reporting, flagging, complaint, dispute, or appeals process. Then fix your copyright system, you Sorry, not the time. Groovy doesn't have anything to do with this. 8. You cannot run contests on or through the service that do not comply with YouTube's contest policies and guidelines. Groovy doesn't do any contests on YouTube, to my knowledge. Total side note, by the way, but if you want to join my free gift card giveaway, like, comment, subscribe, sacrifice your firstborn child, and pay at least $100 to my Patreon. Anyways, back to the restrictions. 9. You cannot use the service to view or listen to content other than for personal, non-commercial use. For example, you may not publicly stream videos or stream music from the service. Groovy definitely has nothing to do with this. They don't stream music to Discord calls, they don't have a premium option, and they definitely don't screen videos. Sarcasm aside, this is also a big one that Groovy violated. 10. You can't use the service to sell any advertising, sponsorships, or promotions placed on, around, or within the service or content, other than those allowed in the advertising on YouTube policies. I was about to get onto sponsorships, but they allow it in the policies, so we're good. Again, Groovy Premium violates this rule. And finally, that's out of the 10 restrictions. That took forever. I need another cup of water. For this last part, I wanted to do something I've never done before. Talk to people. So, I reached out to Ravy and Oscar Lang, and I briefly interviewed them. It went well. I learned a lot from them. Even if the information I got was already documented, the news sources I read didn't really explicitly say this, so it's good to know for sure. Let's start with Oscar, one of the main developers. Even without having it monetized, it still broke the rules. Did you know this when you were first making the bot? We knew it was the legal gray area to be in, but we weren't really the only ones to do something that breaks the terms of services, so we didn't really think of it as being a huge problem. This is a fair response. YouTube terms and services are broken, like, all the time. Downloading videos is against the terms of services, but plenty of websites allow you to do so. Even if YouTube cracks down on them, they can't really enforce all of their terms of services. and the main thing that was affecting them here was that Groovy didn't play ads or add views when it played a video from YouTube, which meant both a loss of money from YouTube itself and a loss to the creator of the video. What was your reaction when you got the cease and desist letter from Google? We've accepted it as is, since we already knew something like that could happen, and it was the nicest way YouTube could have approached us. There wasn't much they could do to fight it anyways, so they just accepted their fate. It's understandable. I mean, if you know you're about to get banned from my Christian Minecraft server, there isn't much you can do to not get banned at that point, so don't swear. What do you think will happen to other Discord bots in the future because of this? We think that popular Discord music bots won't be able to survive like this without proper licensing or similar things. Now, this licensing part was something that I found really interesting, because licensing was mentioned in the terms of services. So, in the future, music bots could be licensed by YouTube, or maybe even created by Google themselves, since they know this is a service that plenty of people will use. And they already have a pretty decent relationship with the Discord team, but that's all just a theory. A game theory. No. He didn't really say much ending the interview, so let's move on to Ravy. Ravy was the first person I was told to contact. When I asked GroovyBot on Twitter about it, they said speak to Ravy. When I joined the Discord server, they said Ravy probably knows about this. So Ravy, understandably, was the best person to interview. Even without having it monetized, it still broke YouTube terms of service. Was this something you guys were aware of when creating the bot? Groovy by far wasn't the first music bot, so we didn't give things too much thought. We never expected it to grow this big, and if music bots actually did violate anything, we were expecting bigger bots to be hit before us, so that we could react early. This isn't too much different from Oscar's response, and that makes sense. The main difference is that they expected bigger music bots to get hit first, which is also fair. This is something that multiple news sources also mentioned, with RhythmBot being a much more popular bot than Groovy. Even though I prefer Groovy over Rhythm, Rhythm was used a lot more than Groovy. She also mentions that Groovy wasn't the first music bot, which, yeah, he wasn't. I used to have Bonfire on my Discord server, and then Bonfire stopped doing music, and Groovy itself was based off of a friend of the developer's bot, who also did music. Speaking of, I heard the bot originally was just making a friend's bot, but better. You got anything about that bot? I know the bot in question, yeah, but out of courtesy of Nick's friend, I won't name it. The bot still exists after all. Nick being Nick Amerlan, who was one of the lead developers. Wow, Ravy. Respecting people? What a nerd. Couldn't be me. Hey, Ravy, the one checking this part of the video, this is a joke. Anyways, she mentions Nick here. So, I haven't been able to get into contact with Nick. Could you help me with that? Nick is currently busy with all the business shutdown stuff. Honestly though, there's nothing I couldn't tell you that he could. That makes sense. Oscar was already really busy, so it makes sense that Nick wasn't free. Oscar also mentioned to Nick when I asked him about other people to talk to, but I respected that Nick was too busy. Speaking of things they were busy with, what was the initial reaction when you guys got the cease and desist letter? We already knew it was coming from some internal contacts, but we were still pretty disappointed to know it came true. For 2 of our 3 co-owners, it was their main job. This is fairly similar to what Oscar said. It just shows how they knew it was coming, and how hard it was for them to get that news. What do you think will happen to all other music bots in the future? That depends entirely on YouTube. I'd expect to see more cease and desists. There's also the possibility that they'll reach out to Discord and request all music bots be removed. This is also a possibility, and it's a lot bleaker than what I'm getting from Oscar, because having no music bots in Discord would be a huge loss to the entire Discord community. It would make people have to make their own music bots, because if one got too popular, then bam, cease and desist, and Google could even start fining people. That's the end of this interview part, and as of writing this, I've finished every other part of the video. And I've put the most effort into this part. So, can I hit 42,069 quadrillion likes? No? Yeah, that does seem like a lot. Nah, let's just go with it. In conclusion, Groovy was a great music bot, and it sucks that it's being taken down, both for the developers whose main job it was making the bot, and for the millions of people who used it. While it is justified in YouTube terms of services, this happening means that the end of a major amount of Discord bots is coming. So, there's one thing I have to do then. This petition was made the day after the cease and desist happened and Groovy announced their shutdown. And seeing as I'm spreading awareness about this whole situation, I'm also going to be spreading awareness of this petition. Change.org petitions don't really do much, but Google is mostly doing this because the ads are skipped on the video streamed, and money is all they care about. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, I suggest watching Carl Jobst, who inspired me to make this kind of video. If you want to see more of me, I have a gaming channel called LTGC, and a collab channel called The Garbage Cult, where I upload some of my favorite videos. Links to my sources are in the description, as well as a link to the petition. Last but not least, share this video with your friends. Not enough people know about this. Have a good day. God, that's the most shilling I've ever done.